Welcome to News 6 Extra. I'm Christopher Heath. It is Wednesday, September the 3rd. The sun is shining. We're halfway through the work week, or maybe a short work week if you had Monday off for Labor Day. If you did, great. If you didn't, it's important. Anyway, Penny, you're here today with me again.
Again, yes.
In the big chair.
Mm-hmm. It's very tall.
So, yeah, we're halfway through the week. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. News is happening across Central Florida. We have a slight disturbance somewhere out in the Atlantic, which may or may not ever become anything that we're keeping an eye on. There's a lot going on.
I would really like to ignore the disturbance in the Atlantic. I am going on a trip, and I'd like to pretend it doesn't exist, and I might not be coming home to it.
Yeah, Candace said something interesting this morning. She said, we may only be like, calendar-wise halfway through hurricane season, but the majority of the storms are all like September on. And I'm like, oh, fun.
So much fun.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's jump right into it. One of the stories that we are tracking right now is, listen, if you've ever seen Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood, he is a character, if nothing else. And one of the things that he has taken to doing is when somebody is being extradited from somewhere else to Volusia County, he'll often go meet them at the airport or go meet them at the jail to, quote unquote, welcome them to Volusia County. And the latest is a man who's accused of scamming somebody out of about $60,000 during an email scam. And so the sheriff and the alleged victim, both there as this man was extradited in to the county and arriving at the jail. Mark Lehman has the full story on Sheriff Chitwood welcoming somebody to the Volusia County Jail.
According to the sheriff's office, the victim thought she was speaking to a military veteran who needed help getting back home. But after realizing that was a lie, she went to deputies. She then got a chance to confront the suspect after the arrest.
When you defraud my residents here, we take that really, really serious.
A tense confrontation as a fraud suspect was brought to jail yesterday. 56-year-old Corey Woodall is facing charges after Volusia County deputies say he scammed a woman out of tens of thousands of dollars, and the victim had her own words for him while he was in the back of a cruiser.
Well, I'm going to tell the judge to demand you give me my money back, and I don't care if it comes $1 a week.
Investigators say the victim got caught up in an email scheme about a wounded military dog. From there, she thought she was helping a retired Army general get back to the U.S.
You're not looking at me.
I felt bad when it happened. You didn't feel that bad. You spent $30,000 that she sent you.
According to deputies, Woodall convinced the victim to send him about $60,000, including $30,000 in cash. Investigators say he used that money to buy a car, lawnmower, and trailer. Woodall was eventually tracked down in North Carolina and brought to Volusia County this week.
All right, well, the detectives want to talk to you, and I hope you enjoy your stay at the happiest place on earth, right there.
Woodall was booked into jail on scheme to defraud and grand theft charges. Meanwhile, anyone who thinks they may have been caught up in this or a similar scheme is urged to call the sheriff's office. In Volusia County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Louis Bolden, who does schemes and ripoffs for us here at News 6, does so many reports on these kinds of things, and just the ubiquity of it all, and how there's always a new scam, a new scheme out there. There's somebody out there trying to take money from you, whether it be one of those rental scams where it's like, send us $1,000 to secure the rental. My family and I are missionaries overseas, and we'll send you the keys, and it never happens. Or, some of the sadder ones where you see, people looking for romance, trying to find love, just trying to find a companion, and they start chatting with someone online, and it quickly devolves into, can you send me $1,000 or $2,000? And it adds up over time. These things are very sad when you see them. So obviously we'll wait and see how this case plays itself out. But, good advice is, listen to that little voice in the back of your head, especially if you're online and somebody is asking for money. All right. The only thing I'm asking for, I think Penny's asking for it as well, and that is no hurricanes, no tropical storms, no disruptions to our, wonderful weather here in Central Florida. Of course, Candace Campos has been tracking all of it, including some rain chances for us as we head into the second half of the work week.
But more speedy showers will be possible for some in Central Florida as we are tapping into some tropical moisture. But across our inland zones, most of us will stay mainly dry throughout your Wednesday afternoon as temperatures continue to warm to near average at about 90 degrees. If you are planning on enjoying the beaches, whether it's today, tomorrow, or even into the weekend, breezy conditions will continue to keep the elevated risk for rip currents in the forecast, along with the potential for some coastal flooding, primarily there in Flagler County. And when it comes to the tropics, no big changes compared to earlier this morning. We're still watching that one wave with a high chance of becoming our next named storm. As we take a look at our local forecast, again, that same area of low pressure that was just streaming in plenty of moisture for the last 2-3 days is now starting to slide away. And as it does so, we're going to start seeing a gradual drying trend, maybe not as much rain as the past couple of days, but certainly can't completely rule out the chance of a couple scattered showers as we are going to continue to see some residual moisture all associated with that cold front. You can see plenty of rain coming in out of the Gulf. Most of that is expected to stay down to our south. Now, wind gusts throughout the rest of the afternoon will continue to peak up to about 20-25 miles per hour or so coming in out of the northeast, and that's once again going to be pushing in some of the Atlantic water into the St. Johns, helping to increase the water levels there along the St. Johns and around the Astor area. That's why the National Weather Service has issued a coastal flood advisory until Thursday morning, and that's really going to be the case, especially during those high tides. So as we take you here hour by hour, so you can plan out the rest of your afternoon, you can see within the 1-2 o'clock hour, rain chances again still hovering at about 30%. Highs gradually getting to near 90. Clouds and rain futurecast still picking up a couple scattered showers. You can see all the rain I was showing you earlier there along our satellite radar. Most of that will stay down to our south. There will be that potential of some of our southern zones tapping into a little more of that rain today. So rain chances are a little higher the further south. So we're talking about you guys in Brevard, Osceola County. Rain chances do tick up upwards about 40 to 50%. So widen out that view. That same front over the next couple of days will continue just to meander, and that's going to continue to keep enough moisture in place to keep rain chances around, but not enough to bring any of those big time downpours we saw earlier in the week. So rain chances from now until the weekend staying pretty consistent at about 40%. Quick check on the tropics. Again, this tropical wave still on a high-end chance of it becoming our next named storm. If it does, it will be called Gabrielle. It's a depression, maybe a storm by the end of the week. Certainly will be likely. This is not even an invest just yet. So overall, latest kind of global models still take that turn towards the north, keeping it out over the open waters. We don't have any specific hurricane models on this system just yet. They need to designate it and invest for us to finally be able to get those spaghetti models periodically throughout the day. So in the meantime, though, no big tropical concerns for us locally here, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be tapping into some tropical moisture over the next couple of days.
All right, a little tropical moisture, speedy showers. Candace loves the alliteration. Of course, when your name's Candace Campos, you're going to love alliteration. If you got the News 6 app, you just got an alert that the UCF Student Union evacuated due to a gas leak. I quickly checked on my faculty email for UCF. It looks like it was evacuated and has since been reopened. The fire department and police department out at the University of Central Florida, 2017 national champs. All clear given, Student Union back open at 12:20. So good news there. Okay. So we go from weather to an evacuation to Apopka. Apopka, second largest city in Orange County, and right now considering some fee increases to basically water. It's the wastewater, it's the water you drink, it's the water you take in, and the water you send back out. And as you might expect, these fee increases, which could be about 15%, a lot of residents not too excited about that. So as Stephanie Rodriguez reports, people are concerned with the rising costs. Of course, Apopka is growing, and with that growth comes a little bit of growing pains.
Some residents feel the city is using this rate hike as a way to get to the original rate increase the council suggested last year. But the mayor is adamant that this is needed to keep water flowing in the city.
What was the feeling when you got that letter in the mail?
Absurd. My jaw hit the floor.
After getting a notice about the potential increase, Ian Kimbrell shared his thoughts with the city.
I think the last time I was here was when you guys were talking about increasing our water rates 40-something% last year, but you did us a favor, settled on 24%.
He's concerned for his wallet and for others.
I think about the families that have, children, 4 children, home, whatnot, and I just can't imagine what their water bill is going to be. with these rate increases.
If this increase is approved, Apopka residents would be paying 15.5% higher for water, reclaimed water, and sewer each. News 6's Justin Warmoth asked the mayor about the increases. He says the city's hands are tied because St. John's Water Management District is now requiring it to tap into the lower aquifer for water.
You'd think water deeper would be better. It's not. So now we have to put on an ozone treatment, another 5 or 6 million. So we'll have about 12 million all in on replacing what was a perfectly functioning, water plant.
Kimbrough believes taxpayers shouldn't have to keep bearing the brunt.
They're passing the buck to the Apopka residents who have been here for 4 or 5 years, longer, even longer. And I'm looking around at all the new build. I'm like, are these land developers paying any of these impact fees? When's the last time the impact fees were reassessed or looked at again?
If approved, the increases will take effect October 1st. The city will also consider a 15% increase for garbage services. That is all happening today at 1:30. There will be a public hearing before the final vote here at Apopka City Hall. Reporting in Apopka, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Oh, water. If you really want to get upset about water, take a look at all the water that's being pumped out of the Floridan aquifer. We get our water. I mean, it's a giant lake essentially that's underneath the state of Florida, and so many companies come in and will get what was called a consumptive use permit, and they essentially then pay for the permit, but then they get all the water for free. Essentially, they say they're going to take 10,000 gallons a day. They take that 10,000. They don't pay per gallon. They just pay for the permit for that allotment that they get per day. And when I say people come in, it's agriculture, it's homeowners, but it's also some very big companies that bottle that water and then sell it. There's been a push in other states that allow this to charge by the gallon when a company comes in and starts, basically taking the water from under our feet and selling it off. Florida doesn't do that, and we'll see what happens because the water has to come from somewhere. And if you want to see how bad this can get, take a look at a nice Supreme Court case between Florida and Georgia over the Apalachicola River. That thing went on for about a decade with the good people of Atlanta taking our water, and the Supreme Court in a 9-0 decision said, Atlanta, keep on taking it. Anyway, we've gone far afield. Speaking of going far afield, forklift theft. Apparently it happened down in Osceola County. Now, Troy Campbell has this story. This is a bizarre story of a forklift at a construction site, and a joyride takes place, and a helicopter's involved. It's quite the tale. Take a look.
This is the construction site behind me along Old Lake Wilson Road, where the Osceola County Sheriff's Office says the 3 teens broke into. What they didn't expect was a Sheriff's Office helicopter to be capturing their every move from above.
We got 2 subjects on the northeast corner of the property, possibly 3.
In this Osceola County Sheriff's helicopter video from just before 4 a.m. on August 22nd, you see 3 people riding forklifts at an Osceola County construction site.
There's definitely 3 of them, and they look like teenagers, probably late teens. They definitely don't look like they know what they're doing.
Sheriff Christopher Blackman says the 3 teens tripped an alarm, so they flew their chopper in the sky to capture what was going on.
There was a lot of communication between the deputies on the ground and also the people up in the chopper.
Yeah, so the chopper is communicating down to the ground units and sequencing them to exactly where these 3 suspects were. They had seized or stolen some construction equipment and were joyriding it on the construction site.
Then in the video, you see deputies on the ground make their way closer to the 3 teens.
So if there's buildings and structures there, they can coordinate through the radio system to the deputies, tell them exactly where this person's at, so they don't walk into an ambush, they don't come around a corner and are blindsided. They can literally step by step take them to the person, and it's safer for our deputies.
And we see that in this video.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
You can also see in the video a deputy on the ground be instructed by the helicopter to the exact location of one of the suspects.
He's about 10 feet in front of you.
Investigators say they arrested 2 teens ages 15 and 17, as well as 18-year-old Shane Morrison, charging them with multiple felonies for burglary, criminal mischief, and resisting arrest.
There's some good technology that is used that maybe even these suspects aren't aware of how obvious they actually are to the units above.
Yeah, we have some high-speed cameras on the helicopter, and it provided great resources for us, clarity to the people where they were at, exactly how they were moving, what equipment they were on.
And the sheriff says the teens left about $5,000 worth of damage. He also says, let this be a warning for anyone else who's thinking of breaking into a construction site in the area. In Osceola County, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
I mean, criminal mischief is never good. Penny, your thoughts on this? I cannot tell you the number of times where I have wistfully
Stolen a
looked at
forklift?
Are you a cop? You know, you got to tell me if you're a cop. No, I mean, looked at construction equipment and thought, oh, that'd be fun. Just to, drive that for the day. Come on.
Well, you see,
Exciting? Yes,
I've
no?
never had that thought. I don't like driving a car, but my mom, she loves driving a riding lawnmower. She wants to be forklift certified. I think you and my mom are aligned in this. It would be fun.
So here's what's funny. If you go down just JYP for not even a quarter mile from where we're currently at, there's the Circle K down there. I'm hitting my microphone. There's a Circle K down there. And inside the Circle K, and they had this a couple of weeks ago. I haven't been back. There's this big sand table, probably like the size, like the dimensions of a ping pong table. And they've got all these little remote control earth moving equipment, cars, like bulldozers and bucket trucks and stuff. And the first time I went in there, I was like, I'm going to spend an hour here. I'm just going to move some dirt this way and then move dirt this way. Like my inner 7-year-old just popped out.
I think that's beautiful. I think that's a wonderful experience.
That was a haiku. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have DeLand spending money on cameras. We are going to talk about a man getting arrested at Chuck E. Cheese while he was dressed like Mr. Cheese himself. We'll be right back.
I'm Angie Casado, your Volusia County community correspondent, and we're in downtown DeLand where cameras will be set up on this busy Woodland Boulevard. There's going to be a total of 6 locations, just like the one right here on Indiana Ave and Woodland Boulevard. And these cameras are designed to fight crime and help police when trouble breaks out, especially during big events right here in downtown DeLand.
I love the atmosphere down here. I come down here at least once a week. Love the food down here.
James Henderson has been coming to DeLand for years. He thinks the cameras will be a good addition.
If it makes it safer, I'm all for it.
The city of DeLand is moving forward with plans to install 6 solar-powered video cameras along Woodland Boulevard. The cameras will be equipped with Guardian mode, meaning the cameras would automatically track people and vehicles even after hours.
Peace of mind. Well, it is nice to know that we're, somewhat being watched. I don't want too much privacy being invaded.
DeLand police tell News 6 the initiative is about prevention as much as enforcement. It goes on to say we want the community to feel safe, knowing we are using technology responsibly to support public safety while respecting privacy. It comes after a string of recent crimes, from vandalism to security concerns at the police department itself. The $60,000 project will be funded by impact fees, with Stetson University allowing 1 camera on campus. The cameras are expected to be installed in the coming months. The city is looking at other locations where this technology could go next. Reporting in downtown DeLand, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
Oh, the cameras are always rolling, especially when there's an issue concerning Mr. Chuck E. Cheese, the mouse himself. Okay, so this is pretty wild video. A worker at Chuck E. Cheese, actually the gentleman dressed up as the mascot himself, there he is, getting arrested. It all stems from a question about a stolen credit card. Police arrived to question him about it, and according to the police report, the card was actually found on the large mouse, penny, mouse. It's a mouse. Chuck E. Cheese. He's a mouse, not a rat. Correct? Can't hear you.
Mr. Charles Entertainment Cheese is a mouse.
Charles Entertainment Cheese is a mouse.
Mhm.
You heard that here first, people. He's a mouse. This mouse was arrested for possible credit card theft. Yeah, as we go back to this, you keep the costume on in front of the kids because you don't want to spoil the illusion, but at the same time, you also are now watching a bunch of kids watch a large anthropomorphic mouse be escorted out of a pizza parlor. Interesting world we live in. Of course, this is in Florida, so par for the course. There was an article a couple years back. So Chuck E. Cheese, I'm not sure if you know this, Penny, started selling beer at some of its restaurants.
I do know this.
And they were running into issues with people going there who didn't have kids or didn't have kids with them and would just go there and like sit at the bar and drink beer during the day. Like it was a thing to do. And they finally were like, you can't do that. And they're like, why not? It's cold beer. It's nice air conditioning here. It's a good vibe.
My parents took us to Chuck E. Cheese a lot growing up, and so when they started selling beer, that was a very big deal for my father. It was life-changing for him.
You get a couple pitchers in him, and suddenly those tickets and those coins start flowing a little more freely. Dad, the claw machine here is $20. Don't bother me. It's a spot-on impersonation of your dad, by the way.
Yeah, that's exactly what you've heard my dad talk so many times. You know exactly what he sounds like.
He works down at the docks. I work down at the docks to pay for this beer. Go enjoy your tickets. Win me one of those wacky wall crawlers.
I'm going to make it just you now so you can stop talking about my dad.
Okay. We'll wrap up today with Matt Austin on the I-4 food tour. He has traversed our fine area and, this time going to a Michelin star restaurant. If you don't know what one of these is, these are the creme de la creme of restaurants that have been surveyed and examined. And this was a pretty swanky eat. Here's Matt Austin.
There's so much going on in my mouth right now. This week on the I-4 food tour, we're checking out our first Michelin star restaurant, brand new place called Omo by John.
Omo.
But first, a shout out to our sponsor, Giant Recreation World. Thanks for making I-4 food tour possible. What is a $200 a person Michelin star dining experience like? Well, we're going to show you. This is Omo by John, and your experience begins with champagne and snacks.
Chef.
All right, so
what is this beautiful action going on in front of me right now?
So first and foremost here, we have a bao bun. It's filled with a little bit of braised pork trotter as well as hanadako shiitake mushrooms.
Hold on, you said pork trotter?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it's pig feet braised.
That's silly good. That's really, it's warm to the touch, it's soft, and it's so meaty and savory. Hope you got your shots, because that's gone, friends.
Next up is our take on a takoyaki. It's actually a vegetarian version, so it's filled with beer cheese and smoked daikon radish.
There's so much going on in my mouth right now. Which sounds terrible, but it's a good thing. Soft, and the beer cheese just goes everywhere. Oh, that's fantastic. All right.
Crustade with Wagyu beef tartare, tosazu jelly, which is essentially a rice vinegar and dashi gel, and gampe seaweed.
Okay. All right, down the hatch. That one was very layered. Like I taste one thing, and then another thing hits. That's good. That's a lot to dissect. And difficult to explain. I have a hard job today. And this thing looks like a party here.
Essentially, it's a crispy shell made with rice flour that will be fried and then shaped. Resting inside of that is a bit of kanpachi, which has been diced, topped with basil and zucchini puree.
What these little curly things? Do you make those?
Fresno chili curly. Can't buy this.
Okay. That was very sophisticated. And I'm so unsophisticated that I can't identify all the deliciousness that's going on in there.
Just gonna enjoy it.
I just want to have fun. That was good. That was amazing. That's just the start.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
Quickly, I do want to say I think that it's very cute that pig feet are called pork trotter because they
Pork
trot
trotter.
with their little feet. I think that's adorable.
It
That's
is
what I took from
adorable
that pack.
until you, yes. Well, I took from it that, no offense to Omo, I'm sure it's fantastic. I could think of a better use of $200.
Well, because then it's $200 per person per meal. So for like,
Oh,
and
that's a
that's
good
without
point.
buying drinks, right? Unless
Yeah.
I didn't hear if the drinks.
No,
have some
listen,
tasty
and maybe my
menus.
palate's just not sophisticated enough for that. Yeah, sometimes they'll do that with food. I like when they try and give it a clever name so you don't quite know what you're eating. For those who are aware, you have your choice of calf fries or Rocky Mountain oysters, which are Penny.
I don't want
Do you know what either one of those are?
I don't want to talk about it. They're gross.
You do know.
Yes.
I'm not going to have to ruin your whole. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then we'll set that one aside. But yes, it was. I love Matt's. All of his food tours are fun. They look good, like good places. My wife will tell you, you send me to a restaurant, I'm going to find the hamburger on the menu and I'm going to order it. It does not matter if we are at Johnny's Fill-In Station or if we have decided, to go over to Cooper's Hawk by our house. They do a butter squash gnocchi that she loves, and I get the burger. That's it.
Well, if ever you did want to try a more expensive, I guess, higher end Orlando restaurant, I recently did Magical Dining for the first time, and it's well worth it. It's a full tasting menu like that, but for like $40, which is
Okay.
a lot less than $200.
It is. We did for it's either a birthday or an anniversary. She's going to kill me because I don't remember which one. We went to La Cellière out at Epcot over in the Canada Pavilion. It was fantastic. Beer cheese soup. I got a steak. Oh, so good. That was good. I think that was pushing $200 a person, but special event. So there it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of special events, this has been special. So special, we'll do it again tomorrow.
And then the next day.
And then the next day. And then no more days after that.
No.
But at least 2 more.
Beautiful.
So, okay, quick shameless plug. Justin Warmoth just wrapped up an interview with Paul Renner. Paul Renner, of course, was the former Speaker of the Florida House, represented Palm Coast in the Florida legislature. Paul Renner is throwing his hat into the ring to be the next governor of the state of Florida, running as a Republican. Already, of course, Congressman Byron Donalds in the race as a Republican. So now we have 2 big names in the GOP side of the ledger. And then, of course, on the Democratic side, David Jolly, the former member of the United States Congress. He is running on the Democratic side. That primary isn't until next August, still plenty of time, but you'll see some of that interview that Justin did with Paul Renner coming up today as the race to replace Governor Ron DeSantis starts to really intensify. Of course, DeSantis up against term limits, so everyone knows it's going to be a wide open seat in 2026. All right. That is it. That is our time for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Candace for the weather. Penny, thank you as always for helping put this together. And thank you for watching. We will be back tomorrow right here at 12:30 for News 6 Extra. Of course, we break news all the time on clickorlando.com, and we'll be on the air today starting at 4 o'clock. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 12:30. Have a good one. Bye.